This is the Apparelist podcast, designed to bring you real-life conversation about high-level topics relevant to the decorated apparel community.
All right. Well, welcome, Apparelist community, apparel decorating people. It is January 2026. This is the first Apparelist podcast episode of the year, and I cannot believe I'm saying that to some level. It has been just an absolutely crazy ride so far. 2025 was a good year. There might have been some challenges, but still a good year. I think the apparel decorating community really turned out and turned up, so really pumped to continue that momentum through 2026. And what better way to kick things off than with a fantastic guest for our first episode of the year. Joining us on today's episode is Dave Connor, Director of Product Marketing at Stahl's Fulfill Engine. You probably know Dave's face from any number of educational videos, webinars, podcasts, in-person events, you name it. He's probably spoken at it. Dave has been educating decorators for quite a few years now. He's definitely one of my favorite speakers. Dave, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. A pleasure to be here and a pleasure to kick the year off right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and you know what? We're really not messing around. Like, we're not looking back. We are full steam ahead to kick this new year off. You are here to talk about automation and in particular the world of POD because let's face it, that's the new reality in our industry, right? And so you're going to help decorators, put together the fulfillment puzzle. We're going to learn how to succeed in what this business model looks like. I'm stoked to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been around print on demand as part of the apparel printing industry for well over a decade now. One of the former shops I worked at kind of split in the early days, like right when it was the birthplace of direct-to-garment, really, or at least the commercial viability of direct-to-garment back in the day. And that was such a huge shift to see. Even 10 years ago, it was groundbreaking now, and it's only grown year over year over year. The pandemic kind of really exploded e-commerce, and I think really helped accelerate it. But now that we're, 5 years removed, it is still hard foot on the gas. And when you look at even like the economic uncertainties that a lot of markets and industries are facing right now, where they're looking to pinch pennies or do more with the same. I don't want to say do more with less, but like do more with the same. So we've seen this kind of bulk order erosion start happening almost naturally, and it feels like it's been accelerated. I know with it was a big topic of discussion at the Apparel Decorator Summit last year down in Nashville, where that was a lot of the conversations I was having. And it's just looking for ways for decorators and even promotional products distributors to like future-proof their business, to be able to stop saying no to customers when it's like, well, can we do smaller quantities? Can I set up a store to be able to order these? Print on demand solves so many different solutions for our customers here in the industry that now's the time to get on the boat if you haven't already, because the boat is going to leave the harbor very, very soon. It's been putting around for a couple years, but now it's heading out to sea.
Yeah, that's I love that analogy. Because someone from a landlocked state, I can always appreciate a good water and boat analogy. But what I really find important about all of this is, and you have really hammered this point home, this isn't like a trend anymore. This is how the industry is operating now to a large degree. So it's not like it's just something, it'll be here and gone. Like that is not the reality and the case here. But something interesting really quick before we move this conversation into that. You mentioned this concept of bulk order erosion, and I'm very curious about that because there's always going to be speculation. Will screen printing go away? Everybody said that during direct to garment. It didn't. It's not going to. Can you kind of opine on that a little bit? Because just because POD is growing and automation is growing and these smaller order quantities are growing doesn't mean bulk orders going away, right? It just looked just different.
Yes, 100%. I think there's always going to be a place for bulk in our industry. I was just down at a decorating facility in Florida, and they were doing, hundreds of thousands of pieces of bulk work. So, I mean, it's still there, while they've also transitioned a good portion, I think up to 30% of their total revenue over to on-demand workflows. So that's one thing that like is a stigma with on-demand is it isn't like only exclusive one pieces. It truly is like just in time decoration or decoration on demand, fulfillment on demand, where it is those single piece orders, which I'm sure we're going to talk into a little bit more coming up, because those are the ones that I know every size decorator is like, yo, the single piece orders, we're not making money on these. But it is single piece orders to, bulk orders, but it is changing the way that customers want to order. Even as just general consumers, we are so ingrained to like Amazon ruined everything. So it's speed, it's the convenience of being able to order. It is how customers are placing orders. And I still talk to so many decorators and especially promo product distributors that are still handling things via email. And it just seems like with the tools and technology that are available now, there are better, easier, streamlined ways to be able to do it. So bulk is definitely, while we've seen, if you look at, the full statistics, and anybody running a print shop is going to tell you, even those huge runs, right, where a client used to be placing the order for 10,000 shirts, now it may have changed to even be, they're still doing 10,000 shirts, but it's not one design, hang the screens and run the job, exactly what screen printers love, right? But it is, we want maybe 5 or 6, different designs in 2,000 quantity now. So you see that like, and I still kind of lump that in with the bulk order erosion because it's not one design on 10,000 pieces anymore. So talking to so many different, especially screen printers that have hung their hat on that. And, I know, like you mentioned, direct to garment came out and they're like, this is going to be the screen print killer. And direct to film then comes out. They're like, this is going to kill screen printing. It's not. There's always a place, but with leveraging the right automation, even the decorator I was just at, they are being more profitable and being more thoughtful of the orders that are going to their screen printing presses. So it truly is protecting the profitability, reducing the downtimes, and allowing them to take those large orders still that like screen printers love, the 1-2 color high piece, like hang the screens, run the job, and you're making money with those presses. And the decorators that have started to embrace on-demand more as part of that business model, running side by side with screen printing, truly are seeing this increase of capabilities, increase of standardization, and then increase of profitability for the equipment that they have. Now, I will say the shop I was in took out 3 carousel presses for essentially a digital printing solution to support on-demand, but they use that same piece of equipment to help really truly focus the work that they are still screen printing to be the most beneficial for them, and also then increase or decrease the turn times for their customers. So it's a win-win kind of on both fronts. It just takes a little bit of a shift in mindset.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, it's all about a shift in mindset. It's not about like replacing or anything like that. And you said it best. It's leveraging the technology we have now in a better, more thoughtful, beneficial way to sort of adapt to that new consumer mindset. Because yes, Amazon's ruined me too.
Yep.
It really has. And that's fine. It's just a more thoughtful approach from the apparel decorators of the community as to, okay, well, how can I leverage the current technology and all of these things I do have to meet that different buying habit and things like that. I think that's a really important, like everybody take a minute, take a deep breath, look at your business model. What is it you're doing to be more efficient, more automated? And that's kind of what I want to get into next, because like you said, you can be very efficient and cutting edge technology with screen printing, with direct to film, with direct to garment, with embroidery even. Mm-hmm. I mean, we get lots of conversations surrounding that. So now that this has sort of emerged as a, I don't want to say dominant business model, but dominant business model or a popular business
growing,
model.
Yeah, and definitely a growing business model.
Growing. Great word there. Because you're having so many conversations with decorators, what are you hearing or what are you noticing have been the biggest pain points that are coming with this shift at this moment?
There's quite a few. So like I'll start first with the sales channels, right? Because even when you talk about taking an order, there's a whole bunch of different touch points that usually happen, from quoting to being able to process artwork or do any revisions, emails back and forth with customers, where every single one of those touch points on a 1 to 12 piece order, the hidden costs that we don't see are completely eroding any profit margin. Then when you talk about bringing it actually to the production floor, there are, if you don't have a standardized process, there's somebody who stops and goes, wait, is this supposed to be placed on the front or the back of the shirt? And every single time that you make one of those touch points, or like, is this left or right chest? Is this artwork supposed to be at a slight angle? All of those little micro decisions that operators make, even when you talk about digital printing technology of, oh, what temperature do I need to place this heat transfer at? What print settings? Does this DTG shirt need fixative? Like all of these kind of like tribal knowledge that exists in shops sometimes get in the way of true efficiency and profitability. So like from the sales channel to the production floor, and then even going into a spreadsheet and updating a tracking number for shipment or copy and pasting over, there's all of these touch points that kind of really throw a wrench in the plans of profitability. And that's kind of the number one pain point. And then you look at back to that sales channel kind of side of things. When you look at being able to take the order, there's tons of e-commerce sites out there that allow you to stand up stores for your customers. Even back 10 years ago at the shop I was working at, 2015, 2016, so many customers were asking like, hey, like we would really just like a company store that like we could log in and order as needed, right? We don't want to place a big bulk order. The HR merch closet is overflowing with stuff that people don't want to wear anyway. And it's all money we've spent on apparel that's been wasted now, right? So like, can we just get an online store? And there's tons of technology and software and companies that you could use to host web stores for customers, right? But in a lot of those, you have to manually connect the dots on the back end then. So I'm taking a product that was a mock-up on an online store. Maybe we've spec'd a product for it. I hope you have. It's a Next Level 3600, or it's a Bella Canvas 3001, or that brand new 4810 garment dye. Oh, so cool. Love that thing, right? But regardless of what style is, you made a mock-up, and now you have to kind of reverse engineer it to be like, all right, where's our print file? What decoration method is this getting spec'd to? Who are we sourcing this garment from if we don't already have it stocked? And space is at a premium too. So like, anybody looking to bring on demand in-house, it's like, we don't have space to stock a limited style of t-shirts and colors and all of these different SKUs, because we want to maximize the ROI of our shop. But when you look at that, like all of those touch points then from that, so it all is adding up. And that, I think, is a major challenge and a pain point for so many decorators that look at print on demand and go, it doesn't work for us. Or maybe they've tried it in the past where it's like, we tried to run web stores and it just turns into a huge cluster. And like, we get angry customers. The quality is decreased because now we're rushing everything. There's orders that like for bulk runs, we're not satisfied with the quality, but like, we're not making money on this. Let's shoot it out the door. And it's, degrading the experience for everybody, from the customer to the shop, and even then burnout of the staff that you have on hand, or risky investments into super expensive printing technology that maybe it's unproven for you in your shop. And a lot of those like growing decorators, they don't have the capital, or they can't afford to make that risk, or take that risk on, even if it could be profitable and work out. So like, I've heard that from so many different decorators, and that's why a system that talks to each other in one system is so important to be able to drive that standardization of handling the order, handling the placement, handling what garment it's printing on, and then being able to source that just in time. So it's not that like on demand. Amazon, like we mentioned, ruined us and we want everything next day, right? But there are cases where you are able to ship next day, but with integrated suppliers, right? So taking Sanmar and S&S and your Bella Canvas and your Lane 7s and your AS Colors and all of these garments that your customers want, being able to source them just in time so they arrive next day or maybe in 2 days, and then you print and ship and fulfill, and it's 2 to 3 days. But it truly is like the systems that if you are manually, copying and pasting from a spreadsheet or copying and pasting from a Shopify backend and trying to run that through production and ordering, going in and even just taking a PO and then taking that PDF PO and placing it as a CSV or whatever it is with your supplier, all of these little steps are not scalable, because the more you grow that volume, the more it's taking your time, the more it's taking your employees' time, the more it's taking your resources in your shop. So like being able to streamline it from order sale all the way to it is out the door on the way to the customer in as little as touch points as possible are what the shops that I've been in who have been doing direct to, garment and embroidery and direct to film on demand and running these stores or even connected inventory with other brands that are selling, they are the ones that have been excelling with the standardization and the automation in the shop. When you're doing everything, you are the integration. And not many people want to hire somebody specifically to do data entry now, especially in the rise of AI and the automation tools in there. If it's even Order Desk, right? And being able to build these custom API connections or Zapier. And like, I've seen people doing it, but then now you're juggling 6 different systems that you're hoping are talking to each other. And the one shop I was out in Oregon talking to last year, they have all of these systems, and then because they do NIL and like they have to have very specific, accurate reporting, they build checks and balances in every single system. So like any number, they could cross-reference to at least 2 additional sources to say, okay, that was right, which that's a lot of time. And luckily they have some very bright people who understand API and integrations right there in their shop. But for many decorators, that involves bringing a developer on, and that's another added expense that then is starting to grow this overhead and dilute those, those profit margins on those smaller jobs. So there's, I covered a lot of pain points there, and a whole wraparound. But there are pain points throughout the entire shop floor. The one shop that I visit quite frequently in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of the owners there says like we have to eliminate these touch points. If you touch a on-demand or just-in-time order just once, you are eroding all profitability on it and possibly going in the hole then every single subsequent touch point that you make on that. So being able to get a system that standardizes it, they are available. They're here now that truly build that power. And then kind of on top of that too, even some of the shops that I've worked at that have full-fledged capabilities in-house choose to use a system to outsource. They staff for their lowest season. They outsource when they get busier. They have a direct-to-garment printer. They have single-head embroidery machines, but they use those for prototyping and concepting for different brands, and they don't want to hire and staff that for full-time production for on-demand. So it's having that integrated ecosystem that they could choose to do it in-house or go and leverage other decorators that they're already working with, but instead of having to go and manually send an order or, hey, what would you charge us for, 12 hats, 6,000 stitches? This is the design size we need. Do you have Pantone 182 stocked in thread? Okay. You don't, we could change to something like all of those, that email chain right there is that's your time gone. And so many business owners these days want to focus on growth and what's next. What could I do to positively impact my shop? And they don't have the time to do it. Everybody I talk to is, well, we've been meaning to roll out this new website for 2.5 years now. It's just been too busy, right? So like, what can you do to even get time back in your day as an entrepreneur, as a shop owner, as a screen printer? And it truly is automation here in 2026.
Yeah, and I think that hammers home the point that this isn't like this is a thoughtful business model. Like you can't so many good points that you just made that I hope our listeners are picking up is that you can't just throw spaghetti at the wall and hope that it sticks with this one. Like you have to put in a lot of thoughtful pieces
Systems.
to make it work. But once
Yep.
you do it, it's going to work. But yeah, there is some time required up front, it sounds like, to get this going, but it's worth it. And like you said, you'll never be able to scale, you'll never be able to grow your business if you're not doing the work now to make sure that those bottlenecks, those touch points are automated and that they're tightened and that they're honed in and all of these things are working together. You started to mention there are plenty of platforms, plenty of tools. Which ones? I think I know what you're going to say.
Yep.
Which ones do you like, Dave?
Printing United Alliance is the leading member-based printing and graphic arts association in North America with over 70 years of history and more than 20,000 members worldwide. We're here to support printing professionals like you with the tools, resources, and information you need to grow your business, sharpen your skills, and expand your network. Whether you're a printer, supplier, student, or educator, we've built our community to serve everyone who's passionate about the future of print. An Alliance membership is a smart, cost-effective way to stay current on the latest trends, connect with industry leaders, and give your business the competitive edge it deserves. Head over to printing.org/membership to learn more about the memberships we offer. Let's move the printing industry forward together.
Of course, would choose Fulfill Engine. Now, there is quite a few different ways, but Stahl's Fulfill Engine, a lot of those pain points that I mentioned, it solves. And that standardization and having one system that truly goes and branches out and connects to suppliers and connects to different e-commerce platforms, whether you're using Order My Gear or Shopify or whatever your customers want to sell on, even on their own websites, right? So it has all of these e-commerce tools built in. It also connects directly with those suppliers for automated ordering, so you're never placing a manual PO again, even if you want to do bulk orders, right? And then it is batching those together, so you know, oh, if this order is 72 pieces, it's all going to be in one batch and on one PO to simplify it. It truly, Fulfill Engine was built on the shop floor. It wasn't built in a boardroom. It was built in a very small shop that then kind of started sending orders to a very large shop that said, we want to run this for everything because it's so simple the way information standardized, and kind of even, backing up to that, a pain point and the in-plant work, right? When we talk about standardization and we talk about automation and we talk about even bringing on new employees or rolling this out, right? You mentioned like sometimes it takes a while to roll things out, but when you have a standardized system that is essentially the same workflow, whether you're in embroidery, whether you're in receiving, whether you're in shipping, and you're using very similar screens, Fulfill Engine operates essentially it's a turnkey. You could set it up and it's done by the end of the week, scan to print barcode system. So as soon as apparel arrives, the system ordered the PO, so it knows what's in the PO. It's going to generate barcode labels to be tagged on these individual orders, or bulk orders. It gets one barcode that stores the job information that carries it through the shop. So when you look at training and being able to roll this out in your facility, or even bringing in new employees, it takes, that tribal knowledge they had to absorb, all of those little micro decisions, the placement information that takes months and years to really master. It eliminates all of that. You see everything on screen, from a print file to the print location to a mock-up that has already been created, and that's the approved proof that's signed off on for every job. So you really look at the ease, and that's a challenge in the industry, not even talking about print on demand, is the labor force. Finding somebody who is a skilled apparel decorator to bring into a shop is very, very hard to find. And this allows anybody to come in and essentially be a pro. But when you standardize that process from receiving, you scan it at the direct-to-garment printer, and now it's even pulling the print settings. It goes, we know this is a 100% cotton ring spun blank, so it's going to be, this color. We have to put down this much base of white. This is the color build of what we'll print on it, or even the print head height adjustment adjustment on some of those machines where you're printing on fleece or a t-shirt or a lightweight shirt, and you're changing settings on that. All of that information is stored on that QR code that then, even when it's all complete, it goes through quality checks at every single stage in the process. It goes to shipping, you scan the barcode, and it has the customer's information already. So it's purchasing a shipping label, and then on that final scan, produces a label that you peel and stick. So it is a turnkey system for print-on-demand automation in-house. It is also coupled with a network. So when, we just got through holiday, which I understand could be a very stressful time for anybody in the decorating industry, as well as the e-commerce industry, as everybody likes to get their shopping done. But when you look at these shops that swell with capacity, now there is an overflow valve, and it's literally like one checkbox that now you could outsource work that is standardized because it is the same production blueprint. It's that same recipe. It's that same mock-up. It's the same print file. In many cases, it's the same print settings, even the same equipment, or the same direct-to-film transfer, just being produced by a different facility. So there is zero difference in this quality, and it's also been, standard and quality vetted. There's at Fulfill Engine, we only have 12 decorators across the United States. There's hundreds and hundreds running it in their shop, but there's only 12 that we feel confident in their quality, not only their quality, but their proficiency using the system, which then leads to accurate turn times. So we see those, how long the orders stay in the system, and we have that data and truly make data-driven decisions, which is exactly what decorators could do with the system too. You have a production dashboard at your fingertips that says, these are the orders that need to ship today. And on every single QR code label that gets tagged on apparel, it says a date of the target ship date anyway. So you have employees that look at the carts of apparel and go, okay, oh, this is, the 18th, this needs to go today. This is the 20th. Oh, we'll push these aside. We could get to these tomorrow. So it really helps train and empower a workforce within a shop to be able to truly bring this in-house. But then it offers that valve of, we are way too busy. We still want to ship in 5 business days or less. Just click the button, and now orders are outsourcing to the network for fulfillment to still meet that 5-day turnaround time, keep customers happy, maybe get it there before the holidays, when we talk about turn times swelling, especially in that season from even this year, it felt like it came in August, not even September into, October, November, and then trailing off in December, where you have the ability to grow your business. You have the ability to do more with your same workforce. And like the shop I mentioned down in Florida, they retrained so many screen printers to essentially be super powerful and high efficiency, direct to garment operators or heat press operators, or they reallocate them to the value added services of hang tagging, bagging, folding, relabeling, all that stuff that customers want more and more and more because they see it available. They see other brands doing it. They see other people with online stores. And man, we spend $10,000 on one lump sum of apparel every year. And, I see 6 people actually wear the shirts throughout the year. And, Tanya told me she doesn't like wearing black shirts, but I figured everybody would like them. And now, hey, this is a solution for decorators to offer their customers. Let me set up an online store with the options of what you think your customers or what your employees or whoever their market is. We want to put things here. You don't have to go through and stock the merch closet. You don't have to go and ask everybody for their shirt sizes. Issue a gift card with the integrated white label storefront that's already built into Fulfill Engine. So you have this full service truly, and it's more than software, right? Because it truly is an ecosystem that doesn't operate without the input from the equipment manufacturers like Rock and Kornit and M&R and Brother and everybody who has their own print settings. Oh, we know on this ring spun that we could use a little bit less ink than a carded cotton. And so they have those settings built in already into their equipment and their software that is now just connecting API to the apparel information that we get from, Sanmar or SNS or Bella Canvas or AS Color and all these other people that we've looped this all together. So it truly is an ecosystem from e-commerce to suppliers to direct brands, because we know that, some brands will say, well, you have to order this direct. We don't offer this through a supplier.
Yeah.
You could get those styles because that's what customers are asking for. They're asking for those online stores. They're asking for quick turnaround. Yes. They're asking for any quantity decoration. And then coupled with that, you could even give customers a self-service portal where they could log in on the back end, and it's a branded portal where they could go in. You set a custom price list for them. So they could go in and say, well, what is it going to cost to get 12 shirts of this design? They see an instant proof. They see an instant quote. You could store their artwork on their account, and they could choose in a drop down of, oh yeah, that's our main logo. We want to put that on a left chest on hoodies. Boom. They have the power to do that. So that truly frees your customer service staff, your front office staff, your sales team to go out and grow the business instead of do all of these tasks that now could be easily automated. So it is a end-to-end solution for both in-house and outsourced decoration. Again, because that's what real decorators needed as a solution. So, and it's always evolving. It's always improving. The one absolutely just mind-blowing thing, especially seeing the early days of direct-to-garment, but now at the request of some of the decorators that are utilizing Fulfill Engine, hey, we have super high-capacity, high-quality direct-to-garment equipment, and they've made the investment into that equipment. How can we leverage this to maybe offer more bulk rates for direct-to-garment? We're like, bulk rates for direct-to-garment, what? Like 10 years ago, wait, what? But with the technology and how far these manufacturers have pushed the equipment, seeing it in action is absolutely mind-blowing. And seeing the pricing of what they're doing with that, where it's like, oh, this job is 6 colors and we're printing 72 of them. We are not burning screens for this. Throw it to digital, and we're going to reserve our screen printing presses to be more profitable work, reduce the downtime. I don't know anybody who likes hanging 7, 8, 12, 14 screens sometimes, right? Where, yes, the job is still 800 pieces. It's 2,000 pieces, which, seeing the way they've configured that pricing and the capabilities that are built on the back end for decorators for bulk workflow, even with direct to film, where it's like, wow, there's so much profitability coupled with these advancements in technology and printing technology that we have here in 2026 now, where it's just mind blowing to see. And yes, you could look at it and be like, well, that's going to kill screen printing. But is it? Because there's always going to be those single color designs, the 2-color logos in those 200, 300, 400 that are always going to be much faster, more economical, and just a better, result in the shop for you to be able to produce those. So it is, it's everything of where the industry is going and built to evolve and scale with any size shop, from a small 1 or 2 person shop in a garage to all the way to those 300, 400,000 square foot production facilities with huge rows of 16 station autos, like where you're in awe of this production capability. So being able to leverage all of that technology, even like with embroidery files, right? Even to engraving, UV printing. It's so much more than just apparel, because customers say, hey, could we put these promotional products on the same store? And in many cases, you can with other solutions, but now you're having to connect the dots on the back end for it to be able to be produced. So there's so much that goes into that, even with like DST files. It's pulling the thread information. So when you scan that QR code, the way that it just pulls the information, it pulls the DST file direct to the machine. So now all you have to do is hoop, which you look at the screen, it says left chest, hoop the left chest, load it right into the machine, and click go. And in many cases too, decorators will set up pods with certain thread colors set. So now you're even reducing the downtime of changing out thread spools in between runs. Oh, well, we have the basic colors over here. Over here, we have, the one that will switch all the colors out for these random orders. But the majority of these orders are going to this standardized color palette that is easy to produce. It's quick to produce. And then it's a lot easier to bring in those employees. You have 1 or 2 that know the ins and outs of the machine and could take threads off, where everybody else is kind of just scan, hoop a left chest, load it into the machine, hit the button, turn around, and go grab the next job. And like that is so powerful when almost everybody I talk to, especially in 2025, said, labor and hiring is one of our largest challenges. And so being able to bring in anybody, even hiring moms, high school kids, right? This part-time work that you wouldn't invest training somebody. You would be like, it's not going to be worth it. But you have, high school, college kids that'll come in for a couple hours every night that could do hundreds of items, whether they be embroidery or direct to film or heat printing. And you have them have this capability to come in with a standardized process, train them very quickly, very easily, and then bam, they are profitable. Our return on your investment of having that employee in your shop and the revenue that they're giving your business is now much more flexible than trying to find somebody full-time who has experience running MHM fully automatic screen printing press and knows how to register, although those MHMs make it fairly easily, but knows how to register a job, knows how to run it, knows the correct order of where to plan these things out, where like that's like unheard of. And if you're a shop and you find somebody like that, they're a gold mine. Please pay them accordingly, because they're going to get even more rare and rare as we move through the years. But yeah, screen printing is definitely still a part of it, because we have screen printing built into Fulfill Engine for bulk runs, right? So being able to use it, and we see plenty of people not get away from their ERPs if they're using ShopWorks or whatever, right? Like they run them in tandem. Here's our bulk side of the business, and here is our, here's our on-demand side of the business. But to see the one shop, US Colorworks in North Carolina, go from fully contract bulk work in 2020, and now 25-30% of their business and their overall revenue comes from on demand, and it's only grown year over year over year, which they may even be past that now. But it's insane to go from 0 pieces of on demand work every single day to it's 3,000 to 5,000 they're pushing out a day, which is that's wild scale, right? But they didn't have to get robotics and automation or, buy a new facility. They didn't need to make those investments. They just needed a better system. Right. And they brought that in, and it unlocked all of this opportunity. And even now they do laser engraving in-house for hard goods, and they're laser engraving tumblers and notebooks, and they're bringing in UV printing. They bring in UV DTF printing, like where they have all of these extra capabilities that they were always like, no, we never want to, there's no reason for it. And now it's like, wait, no, this makes sense for us. And we could see that whatever investment we make into equipment is easily going to pay for itself, because we have a system to be able to feed the work to this machine. And that truly is powerful.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So many boxes just checked. So if you missed any of that, listeners, go rewind, replay, make your checklist, get it going, talk to Dave, talk to the folks at Stalls about it. Dave, I would love to keep going. There's so many other questions I have, but I think for part 2 of a podcast, maybe another day, because I also, let's be real, we all know I want to talk about the sustainability of this, but Lordy, that would take a whole other episode, because I'm getting really excited. I'm getting all butterfly-y.
Yeah, you got another hour.
Right, exactly. You have another hour. Before I let you go though, Dave, so let's kind of zoom back out. We're at the beginning of 2026. If you could predict just one thing, I know that that's very limiting, one thing for this year for our industry, what would it be?
I'm going to have to say automation, because that's a blanket enough term that truly makes a difference for everybody, from the customer to the decorator. Kind of aside from that, I see very relevant apparel styles really kind of coming up. I always like looking at the blank suppliers, because they put so much time and research into building the supply chain and building the supply for certain styles, and seeing the investment into kind of more trend forward, heavyweight garments, which I absolutely love. I gave Bella Canvas a little shout out earlier in for their new garment dyed option. But like, you see those options start coming out, and it does differ per market. So being relevant to your customer or the target audience of who you're selling to is what's really going to stand everybody out. But automation truly helps, because anybody could print a t-shirt, right? There are at-home businesses with a heat press that could print a t-shirt. Not everybody could run a merchandise program for your customer. And I think that's the way that you look at leveraging automation to truly take your shop and go, we don't just sell t-shirts, we manage merchandise programs. And when you shift that kind of way of thinking, you start checking all of the solutions off that your customers have been asking for years. Now you have them ingrained in a system. You're holding their artwork. Even if they go find a lower price, the convenience, the speed alone of being able to order with you holds them. So when we look at future-proof business and holding on to your customers and your profit margins, when you look at that shift in mindset to a merch program, leverage the automation, that's where you are future-proofing your business to make it through any economic uncertainty, any shift in customers, and you've got them. So that's my long-winded prediction, my crystal ball for the future when you look at it. 2026.
You're like, preach. I love it. Dave, how do people get in touch with you? Where can they connect with you? Share some contact info for you and Stalls, please.
Absolutely. Head on over to Stalls Fulfill Engine. It's just fulfillengine.com. Google search Stalls Fulfill Engine. There's some awesome videos actually in shop for some of the decorators that I mentioned. So you could see US Colorworks behind the scenes. And if you're in the area, they're always happy to open the doors, which is what I love about the industry, right? The community that we build here and just the willing to help everybody out. But yeah, fulfillengine.com. There is a get started up in the top right. You could book a call. We have group demos. You could chat one-on-one. Of course, I'm always available. You'll see me bopping around on the show floor at all of the trade shows here through 2026, as well as over on like the Stalls TV YouTube channel. Hours and hours of education there. I think there's even a phenomenal iLearning course on Printing United that you could check out. That I was happy to lend all of my experience and mistakes over the years that I've made, so that people, decorators in any business, whether you're training a new operator or something, it is it's series built to take you from 0 to 1,000 and have you be a pro in just 10 modules. So I'm everywhere. You could find me. Find me, talk, chat. As you might be able to tell, I will nerd out about all kinds of different printing. I've made it my life for the past 15 years and absolutely love it. So that's why I love our industry and being able to go to shows. So check us out, fulfillengine.com. Going to be the easiest way to learn more, get a demo, see some videos, and look for ways that it's truly going to impact your business, because it's different for everybody depending on your business. And that's why we want to kind of have that discovery call and that conversation first, because we'll tell you if it's not going to be a right fit for what you're looking to do. But for more and more decorators looking to get into on-demand or just-in-time decoration or bring automation into their shop and don't know how or where to start, Fulfill Engine is the best place to be able to go for that.
Oh, I love it, love it, love it. I can just feel the passion and the excitement. Yes, as Dave mentioned, there is an iLearning course. iLearning.org is where you would go to find that. And then, of course, all the links that Dave mentioned. We even have plenty of content at apparelist.com, a lot of it from our fine partners at Stalls. Dave, thank you so much. I just feel like the wisdom drop to kick off the year is exactly what we need to get going. So thank you so much. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. And let's go, right? 2025 was a pretty good year. I know we had our ups and downs, but 2026 is where we really hit the gas here and we level up everybody's business, and let's push the industry to the next level together.